Hey guys, this is Lennon. We're back in another ranking video. And during the summer break, I watched 22 movies. 12 that came out in June, 22 that came out in July. And last place is Moana. A remake that came out 10 years after the original. And I'm gonna start off with The Rock playing as Maui. Like he already did him in the original. He's like underweighted. Compared to Maui. And the fact that he redid that You're Welcome song is done by an auto-tune. So do not blame that on him. Blame that on whoever deal with this movie. He still tried his best. But the setting looks fake. Setting looks fake. The fire monster and animals are CGI. The costumes are terrible. Especially the wig that The Rock has. And the girl that plays Moana doesn't even have an emotion. It doesn't even look like she's enjoying it. So. And now we're on Her Private Hill. The usual grab bag of subconscious signifiers fertilize ultraviolence in Dream World Monitory, hitting a wall with sci-fi Sevik tale. Not much to cling to, and is almost impressively distant, no matter their instrict beauty. It ultimately works best as visual album for the Pino Donaggio score. It is, considering the soundtrack deserves a better film, attaches to it. And I'll also give that the NWR is making future films. So, good. Next up, Scary Movie. Or most likely to be called Scary Movie 6. I respect that they brought the original characters back, especially the Dwayne brothers from Scary Movies 1 and 2. I respect they're trying to be funny by referencing all of the modern horror movies. Non-horror too. But also I don't appreciate how they made fun of those memes that much. I'm also giving that Ghostface has a better design than his design in the first Scary Movie. But overall, I'm just disappointed. Like, they have a 6-7 joke that should have left since 2025. With Good Hand, who's just smoking and laughing. Like, what's that? But you know what? I did want to like this. It just didn't work out. So. Maybe like number 3. It's definitely on the top tier for most disappointing movies. I don't even know where to put it yet. But moving on, we got Office Romance. Spends much of its runtime trying to prove that it's different from each from other corporate rom-coms. The setting does suggest some interesting conflicts, especially involving power dynamics and professional ethics, but it just constantly shy away from any subject that requires further development. Everything becomes a merely backdrop from a story. I appreciate Jennifer Lopez and Brett Goldstein managing to make the experience minimally enjoyable. There is still a desire to make the romance work in this movie. The script just doesn't really fit that much. So therefore, I don't really suggest watching this. You can watch it; it's still watchable, but okay. The fact that it's like kind of off is why I got rated that low. The next up, Supergirl. Not as good as this, like, 2025 Superman movie. It's not bad or mid, slightly above average. But I just feel that something is there that doesn't justify itself for the most parts of the film. That is not personal. It's mostly depowered, and they don't use that to really bring the story that much. If you're a DC fan, you might like it more than me. I did rate this a 5 in my review, rate this up, and then I upgrade this to a 6. But you don't really need to watch it. Next up, Enola Holmes 3, another movie I was disappointing in. Remains light-hearted entertainment that you can sense that the franchise is trying to move into a more mature phase. The idea to have Enola grapple with marriage, identity, and the fear of losing her independence work well. Since Millie Bobby Brown remains very comfortable in the role, I did like how Malta, which offers a visual break and takes the story away from the repetitive London alleyways. It does attempt to expand the universe and tackle heavier themes, like British colonialisms. The main problem is that amid so many ideas, the mystery ends up being the weakest link. And I was just disappointed in this movie as well, because I absolutely enjoyed the first two. But there's still good intentions, which is why I got above Supergirl. Next up, we got The Death of Robin Hood. Meditative, introspective look at a darker twist of a fable that doesn't always land in its ideas perfectly to dwell enough to its ideas, but yet benefits from a great visual craft as well. It's one of the performing highlights of Hugh Jackman's career. By a strong, interesting direction from Sarnowski, the film's silky, slow pace is married only by a stringly breeze of a third act. It's a great watch, though, engaging throughout the works well as a movie piece. And now we got Masters of the Universe, or some of you guys might want to call this He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. The unrealistics of the universe backgrounds feel like bright and perfect, and not like darker. As if you were to see in real life. It still seems better than. It's still better than the 80s Masters of the Universe. On the 80s, we have Skeletor using makeup. On this, is actually the Skeletor in this movie is actually CGI. It's like one of the better CGI designs. And also, we have He-Man in his Adam form, unlike in the 80s. Which I mean in the pink suit. So, yep. So. Yeah. This movie's all about how he got the name He-Man from. Next up, Tuner. Crafted with such flair, spunk, and overall softnesses. It is a reminiscent of those quirky films from the late 90s to early 2000s, as it stood out to me for a few things. One being the score accompanied in theatrics, another being how woman characters were handled within the masquerade of men. Also, the character's design had layers in both his physical disability and his career trajectory. But it may seem like a regular heist film. Tuner discusses the frightening aspects of trust and how much we value it, and more importantly, how easy it's taken away. It's great work. Avatar Aang. As the middle of the movie was like practically perfect compared to the original series. Although I do think from the middle to the end does become very genetic. The new Airbender has found in the evil iceberg, one of the most predictable. And we have Aang, who's very generic until he attacked. Until that guy that he trusted attacks his friends, which was ridiculous. What a traitor. I do think this movie could have had a better conflict. Like him wanting to kill Benders who were attacking the group. And then Aang gets mad and then they fight, but fighting like that out of nowhere does make no sense. That's why it's not any higher. But going to our most surprising movie of 2026, Minions and Monsters. Light fun adventures packed with absorbed humor that made Minions the most popular character groups in the modern animation. Speaking of the animation, it is colorful and full of energy, taking advantage of each scenario to create sequences that are chaotic as they are entertaining. As the story follows a fairly simple and predictable structure of minions wanting to get the perfect monster for their movie. And yes, this is better than the first Despicable Me. This is such a fun movie. Like, I knew this was a fun movie, but did I expect this being great? Did not. But it is a great movie. So that's why I found that movie a surprise. And now we have another animated movie called Toy Story 5. The first half did have a more casual, sarcastic, aimless plot without any emotional weight. But the second half of this film was incredibly enjoyable and fun to watch. We have Jessie getting sent back to her first owner, which is Emily from Toy Story 2. Which makes the plot beautiful. So at least it respects the perfect trilogy. And no, I have never seen a bad movie by Pixar. Even if I've ended up watching The Good Dinosaur, I even think The Good Dinosaur will be watchable. But overall, Toy Story 5, did they taught Gen Alpha a lesson? They did. So. But is it as good as the first three? No. Now we got Blue Heron. Heartfelt film of childhood that can be lazy from the reality. It well done with meta nature that occur in the later half of the film and ultimately builds up to modern times. Great and natural performances, as it's powerful yet so soft. The beautiful film also establishes the symbolism and the nature of the heron, which was cute. And the best part of the film was the ending portion, having an older Sasha having a better grip that she lived as a child with difficult older brother. And I did enjoy the case of study nature of the film. Great film. Would have seen more, but oh well. Best and Last is an excellent love letter to the franchise. Great way to end their series. From their show to this. There's also scenes with the crew, old and new. A lot of good baskets. A lot of good scenes that they use from their films before. And I'm just glad that's their last movie because they are old. You can even see that Johnny's hair is gray. So, that's all I'm gonna say. Besides this movie having really great laughs. Moving to the invite. Brilliant acting, brilliant writing, and the brilliant direction. As a dark comedy drama. It comes from the situation and characters, nuances and discomfort, and then if you're in an unhealthy relationship and felt bad watching the movie, That means the movie did its job. See, concealing emotionally intelligent media literal folks will love this. Disclosure Day being and then next up is Disclosure Day being the first impression of Steven Spielberg for a while, since the Sugarland Express, or like whatever his last movie was. There's like so much to chew on in how Spielberg explores the mechanics of the world, and specifically a world of sense. Having two elements, the world beyond and the world we know. We have aliens, but aliens serve as something beyond our limits as well. And when it comes, we can't stop looking, and we realized how long I've been waiting for it to happen. It's all connected in how the world, as it cannot allow that to be known. Right after I came back, I am continuing off with The Furious, also known as one of the greatest action movies of the decade, or at least it used to be. As a basic premise designed to provide any opportunities for awesome action as possible. From the opening scene that can make you hate the bad guy, to like the choreography uses the actor's weight in a way. It also keeps going, finds a new way to escalate. And we have the main character who is mute, changing to locations to get information. And then constantly used against him, as it's adding a layer of misunderstanding and conflict to every sequence. Using the environment the way that Jackie Chan does for the true fans of comedy. It is a near perfect martial arts film that pushes the genre forward. And then there are things that I haven't seen before. This has been my most anticipated movie from June. And almost certainly be in my top 10. Unless we get another good one. But next up, we got Leviticus. An eerie concept that makes something so much bigger out of it. Religion and horror always gone hand in hand. And they use horror as a device to showcase the control that the belief of something can have. This movie was like, it came out in Pride Month. Pride Demon Month. You don't get that, whether you get that or not. They have both actors delivering intimate and touching performances. which is enough to praise the movie. Moments of fear and survival, which they did an amazing job. Now we have, and then going to Digital Circus, we got the last act, which is also known as episodes 8 and 9 together. We now have this dark twist of Kane, as all the members find out that he's like an AI host. Called Scratch. And then, as they accidentally killed Kane, going to Jax, we got his flashbacks with Kinger and Ribbit, which Pomni is exploring, until she finds Jax, finding out why he was a jerk. And it was a really sad movie. If you have YouTube or Netflix, you may definitely watch this. Do not miss it if you're an indie show fan, because I think this Digital Circus show is the best indie series of all time. But now moving on, we got 3 more. Evil Dead Burn. I was a fan of the franchise. As a fan of the franchise, there are, needless to say, tempering expectations for this movie being next to impossible. It delivers both another incredible French horror director and an incredible entry into one of the humor's most cherished franchise. This is a relentless, visceral expansion of the horror franchise that perfectly balances the intense physical trauma of its previous entries with the chaotic, brutally creative gore, uneasy humor, and high-paced horror of the original trilogy. And has everything you need in a horror movie. With both of our last two movies that I'll be talking about, has both Tom Holland and Zendaya. Fun fact. So, going to Spider-Man Brand New Day, which is also my favorite live-action Spider-Man, followed by Spider-Man 2. Beautiful story. The ending got me. And we have Spider-Man being depressed since the beginning of No Way Home, getting cured. We have Sadie's character that got just enough screen time and she shined. I'm excited to see more of her in the future. Hulk was a really great cameo. And then Spider-Man also met the Punisher from a TVMA show on a PG-13 movie. And to say I knew this was a great movie, but do I expect it being that high? No, I did not. Which I was surprised about. But now coming in number 1. we got The Odyssey. Based off of the story by Homer. It's even more representative of everything they've been striving. They also managed to somehow tap into voodoo well, as Paul Thomas Anderson was used during the filming of One Battle After Another to conjure up the world events. And they did pull off the impossible, being an adaptation of one of humankind's oldest, most treasured stories that feels faithful to the text, but unafraid to improve upon it or reconstructualized it for a modern audience. And this is an absolute triumph of the filmic medium and for the history of storytelling overall. Hope you enjoy the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I forgot to mention, hope you all enjoyed the list. I'll do a Spider-Man ranking video soon. I'm also going to go back and forth with Christopher Nolan and Steven Spielberg. And then the reason why it's taking a while is because I need to watch all their movies. But Spielberg made a lot. As of Christopher Nolan didn't make that much. Which I'll have these lists. I'll try and get both of their lists late this year. So, but I will get a Spider-Man list uploading. And I'll see y'all in the next video.